So you found yourself on apgains.org, the best free resource for all new mid-game, late-game players. It doesn't matter. If you want information on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, it's going to be here. You're on the homepage, you scroll down, you come here, you can see the greatest free-to-play farming guide, and you will be greeted by a couple of images. And when this video is up, this video will be right here. What we're going to talk about is the greatest free-to-play farming guide. If you spend money, you can do a little bit different things, but we're going to go at this from the free-to-play perspective. This farming guide is multiple years in the making and far outdoes any other farming guide out there, so we're going to help you set yourself up for success. Our main goals are going to be dominating GAC, because everything else doesn't really matter. We are going to kick butt, take names, and we're all out of bubblegum or something. I don't know how the saying goes. It's 3 in the morning and I'm tired. So there will be a bunch of stuff on this page after this video comes out. So if you want to know at what point should you take certain characters on certain teams up to relics, which teams are more viable than other teams, which teams counter which teams, that stuff will all be here after this video is up. So if you're watching this the day it comes out, give me a couple days to pump those videos out for you and then throw them up on the website. If you're watching this a little bit later, just scroll down. So here we have the image. This is going to be basically your first 1.5 to 2 years, depending on how many days you play, how intense you are, a little bit of RNG, depending on the guild you're in, and a lot of great other stuff like that. So this is just how it all maps out how you are going to dominate. So if you go down and you see any of the images down here and you're wondering, like, how do all of these characters come together to give me a fantastic advantage? This is the map. In a couple of days, there will be more images here outlining at what points you'll have certain teams, so you know which teams to use on defense, which teams to use on offense, which ships to use on offense, which ships to use on defense. It will all be here. So we have a 10-phase system in the beginning well, I guess it's technically an 11-phase, phase 0 to phase 10. Phase 0, we have Darth Vader, because Darth Vader is going to be the king of the early game for all of you players. Darth Vader is the key to beating all of the things that most players find unbeatable. So he is going to be your first relic and your first Zeta on his Merciless Massacre Zeta ability. No matter if you're following this, the greatest free-to-play farming strategy, or if you're following another free-to-play or pay-to-win or whatever farming guide out there that exists, doesn't matter. This is mandatory. So phase 1. So these are characters that you unlock pretty early in your farming. You can be low level and start to farm them. They are not in any particular order. So it's not like Newt Gunray is the most important because he's on the left, or Dark Trooper is the most important because he's in the middle. These are just the order in which I had the game assets put in. But as you can see here, we have Newt Gunray, who we don't need to focus too much on, but the characters we really want to focus on are Jedi Knight Anakin, getting up to 7 stars as fast as possible, Ahsoka, getting her up to 7 stars as fast as possible, Old Ben, and Farm Boy Luke. These are going to be the phase 1s that we want to take to 7 stars right away. The 2 Geonosians here, Poggle and Soldier. Soldier is an early farm. Poggle is a Galactic War farm. We can get them up to 4 stars, 5 stars. This is more of a passive farm. Same here with Newt Gunray, since he is a pretty easy farm. You know, you get him a couple stars and just wait. Dark Trooper and Moff Gideon have jumped up quite a bit since previous iterations of this. So after we focus on Old Ben, Farm Boy, Anakin, and Ahsoka, we are going to want to put some effort into getting those guys 7 stars, if at all possible, pretty early, because they are going to help us out a lot. We go down to phase 2. Phase 2. Outside of Darth Vader, the most important character that will exist in your account in the early game is Bastila Shan. You unlock that node to get Bastila Shan, you hammer that fast. Her leadership ability grants 200% protection up to all Jedi. Most of you guys know this. If you're new, you might not know this. In the early game, this is going to help you basically destroy the Cantina battles, destroy the light side battles. In Galactic War, if you're struggling, the 200% protection up comes back. It comes back, and you can just keep redoing it. Every single Galactic War mission, it comes back. It's going to be massively important in GAC. All around, fantastic. Get her. Piet is going to fall into the range of Moff Gideon and Dark Trooper. We are going to focus those after we focus kind of the main characters each phase. The main characters in phase 2 are going to be Bastila Shan. Here you see Bastila Shan, Stormtrooper Han, and Princess Leia. So those 3 are the main focuses. After that, we want to go Admiral Piet, General Veers. We can do a little bit Jolie Bindo after that, then probably Boba Fett and Spy. We want to get those up. Those are probably the order in which they are important in Phase 2. Bastila Shan, Stormtrooper Han, Princess Leia are fast 7 stars. Piet and Veers will come in a little bit after that, and then the rest of the characters are kind of passive farms. You know, if you have, if you're waiting to move on to a phase, or you have some extra energy here and there, you can throw that around. Just like the characters who are passive farms in Phase 1, we can just kind of go with the flow on those. You'll hear me use the term passive farms. Those are kind of go with the flows. And then Yoda, we're probably going to have Bastila Shan, Jolie Bindo, Anakin, Ahsoka, and Old Ben as our 5 Jedi. We'll get a 5-star Yoda. He'll be our damage dealer on the Jedi team. Great for passing buffs. He is fantastic. We'll basically unlock him for free since he is a legendary character. Now we go into Phase 3. Phase 3 at this point, we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 Empire Troopers, which means we need 1 more to get R2-D2. And Emperor Palpatine is going to be that 5th, which means we need 5 Rebels. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's our 5th Rebel? We can get him from a number of places. We can get Zeb, who's not on here. We can, get just any Rebel that you find laying around. I recommend Zeb. Get him to 7 stars. Level 1, don't put any resources into him. Just get him to 7 stars. He is farmed in the Galactic War. He's not on this list because he would have just taken up space. But I recommend Garazeb Aurelios as the character to be the 5th Rebel. The other Rebels will dominate. You'll get Emperor Palpatine. Once he's 7 stars, you can use him with the other 4 Empire Troopers to get R2-D2. R2-D2 will be your 5th of the requirements to unlock CLS, and we will have CLS pre-level 85. Now, again, like I said earlier, there'll be other graphics and other videos on this page at a later date explaining at what point in the farming guide you'll have each team. So if you're kind of confused, like, these characters, what do they do? It will all be laid out for you there. Padme, as you can see here, Jango is here, and we'll have Nute Gunray and Jango. Jango solos the Padme event if you don't want to waste your resources gearing up and starring up the Geonosians and the Geonosian Brood Alphas. They are kind of a, they're kind of a resource sink. A lot of people really still hold on to the fact that they're serviceable in some respect. The only really smart / acceptable / not brain dead use for Geonosians is maybe, let's say you get them all 7 stars, but by the time you get them 7 stars, you already have 7-star Padme, so you're not using them for the event. Get them to 7 stars, get them gear 8, gear 9, and then maybe bump up Spy to gear 12 or put some stuff on Spy. Spy will do some damage. Geonosian Brood Alpha, anything plus gear 8 will keep them alive long enough. They're easily countered by a lot of stuff, but they are semi-useful on offense if you run out of teams. So they're not a completely useless faction. They're mostly useless, but you can still get some value out of that with maybe a slightly stronger Spy. And then Bosk here. Jango has the best node in the entire game. You get Jango, who helps you get Padme, a great bounty hunter, but also you get Bosk's ship, which is the best ship in the game. So we're going to also farm Bosk to pilot his ship. He's also going to be a fantastic early Zeta for us. It's going to get us a ton of banner recovery on offense when we do GAC, so that we can out-efficiency our opponent, and just all around fantastico. We'll get Han Solo here because Han Solo is a raid character, so you'll be simming the raid depending on what guild you're in. You'll get Han Solo for free. And then we're going to farm Grief Karga. Grief Karga and Mando down here and Zam have shot up, and Aura have shot up massively just because of how the bounty hunter team with the Zam Omicron has catapulted into S tier. Even without the Zam Omicron, they're still an A tier team, and they've shot up just like the M Troopers into the farming guide. I would definitely put more resources into them than the Imperial Troopers. You can kind of leave the Imperial Troopers, 7-star, gear 10, gear 8, depending on what your level, but the bounty hunters you do want to bring up quickly, and Zam is going to be your first Omicron just because you can kill Gas, you can kill Darth Revan. It's going to eventually help you counter Galactic Legend Kenobi, Jedi Master Kenobi, who's the strongest team in the game, all around fantastic. So we're going to pick up Grief Karga kind of to end Phase 3. Moving into Phase 4, as you see, Mando, we're going to pick him up. Zam, we're going to pick her up because she's an easy farm in the guild store. Qui-Gon, we're going to pick him up because he's going to be our second Omicron, but also he'll help us eventually down the line. Get him 7 stars. Don't really invest too much in him. Just have him laying around until the time that we need him. Chewbacca. At this point, we'll have a bunch of bounty hunters from Aura. We'll have Bosk, Django. We'll have Boba. Dengar, I don't think Dengar is on here, but you can pencil him in kind of like Zeb as a character who didn't fit on the graphic, but we're going to need to get him because he is so valuable to unlock Chewbacca. If you're on the website, go to the Unlock Guides video. It'll teach you how to get Chewbacca the easiest way. He'll be fantastic. Traya and GK, they'll be raid characters. You'll get them passively depending on how good of a guild you're in. They are massively helpful. And then 3PO and Chewie is going to help shore up your CLS team with CLS, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and Chewie, and Han Solo. This team is massive for punching up and getting good banners. They're unstoppable on defense and offense, and probably top 3 non-galactic legend team in the game. As I talked about Aura Singh, she's going to be your leadership for the Bounty Hunter, and Stark is going to kind of round out your makeshift Imperial Trooper team, which will help you a little bit in the early stages of offense. Phase 5 is basically just unlock Darth Revan. We're going to want to unlock Darth Revan before Jedi Knight Revan. It is a little bit slower, but Darth Revan is so much better than Jedi Knight Revan that everyone else is going to be getting Jedi Knight Revan. We're going to have a massive, massive, massive advantage with having Darth Revan. My girlfriend's account, the greatest free-to-play account of all time, has won, 80 plus grand arenas simply by just putting Darth Revan on defense without even like a really good Darth Revan team. So don't make the mistake of getting Jedi Knight Revan first. If you do, it's no big deal. Just make sure you quickly go grab your Darth Revan. But as you can see here, we're building so many good teams that it doesn't matter what they're doing. If they're the same GP as us, even a million GP more, we've basically just absolutely shafted them on GAC and they stand no chance. But don't worry, we're going to build on top of it. It's a snowball effect. It will get worse. Our opponents will look at us. They'll cry. They'll quit. The numbers of players in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes will deplete because we're just forcing everyone to rage quit because our accounts are just that good. Marauder is going to be a passive farm. He's going to help out the Darth Revan. Eventually, Nihilus and Cyan kind of passive farms as well as Sith Empire Trooper. These guys go with Traya, and these two right here will go with the Darth Revan, the Basilishan, and these guys, and help us prepare for eventually getting Malak and having that dominant Darth Revan team. Range Trooper is going to be the 5th Imperial Trooper, and he's also going to kind of be in a passive farm. And as you can see here, Phase 6 ends with 3 characters, Mission, Zalbar, and T3, who are required to unlock Jedi Knight Revan, alongside Basilishan and Jolie Bindo, who you will note will only have at 7 stars, so all we have to do is bring them up to 7 stars. The Jedi Knight Revan event is super easy. We want to take Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan up to Relics. We get ourselves Malak, and at this point, it's just the snowball effect of our opponents just hate us because we have so many teams that no matter what they rushed or what they're doing, they literally just have absolutely no hope. The 5 Ewoks here, make sure you get the Chief Chirpa Zeta, and that's it. Get a C-3PO. That C-3PO plugs into CLS, and now our CLS team is unstoppable. Phase 8 is going to be the requirements that we don't have alongside the clone troopers to get us General Anakin Skywalker. Once we have General Anakin Skywalker, we're also going to want General Grievous because we built up some droids. Wat Tambor is a territory battle character. We'll start to passively get him up. And then boom, the rest of the requirements to unlock Jedi Master Kenobi. So that's the 10/11 phase system for the early game. By the time you get to this point, you'll be an experienced player. You'll have new characters entering the game through marquees, new legendaries. It will evolve. The greatest free-to-play farming guide evolves constantly with every new change to the game. So if you want the updates, it will always be here on apgains.org. As you notice, we didn't talk about ships. Ships will be a separate video. So if this video just came out on YouTube today, stay tuned. If you're watching this later date on the website, just scroll down a little bit and you will have all that you need to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.